Little girl was running away from home after being scolded by her mother. As soon as she stepped outside, she was spotted by a human trafficker. The dog noticed its owner was in danger and started barking loudly. It immediately rushed forward to chase after the trafficker. However, trying to catch up with the bad guy on a motorcycle was a bit difficult for the dog. At this moment, the little girl was terrified out of her mind. She screamed for the dog to come and save her. Although the dog was chasing hard from behind, the distance between it and the trafficker on the motorcycle kept growing. Meanwhile, the grandmother was trying to persuade her granddaughter not to be angry with her parents. But when she came out to call her for dinner, she couldn't see her granddaughter anywhere. The grandmother immediately felt uneasy, so she started looking around. While searching, she called out her granddaughter's name, but got no response. Her calls caught the attention of the parents, who immediately ran outside. Seeing his mother in a panic, the man quickly asked what was going on. The mother anxiously said that the granddaughter was missing. On the other side, the trafficker had less than 10 minutes left before the agreed transaction time, so he sped up, taking the child toward the deal location. All along the way, the dog refused to give up chasing the trafficker. The little girl kept calling for the dog to help her. Seeing that the dog was still following behind, the trafficker had an evil idea. He pulled out a lighter and set some straw on fire by the roadside, hoping to stop the dog's pursuit. As the fire grew and blocked the road, the dog found it difficult to get through. It was frantic, helplessly watching its owner being taken by the trafficker. The dog could only bark loudly at the trafficker. Although the fire was still raging, the dog leaped with all its might and managed to jump over. Meanwhile, the woman was complaining to her husband, saying they should never have left their daughter at the old home for her mother to look after. Otherwise, she wouldn't have run away just because of one scolding. The man tried to comfort his wife, telling her not to be angry. As soon as they found the child, they would take her to the city to live. At that moment, the mother also advised her daughter-in-law not to blame the man, and not to feel guilty for not watching the granddaughter carefully. The man, seeing their distress, said the most important thing now was to find the child. The woman, in desperation, started stamping her feet. Then they both split up to search for the child, but after asking everyone in the village, there was no trace of the child. Just when they didn't know what to do, the dog suddenly returned, barking loudly. The grandmother noticed the granddaughter's hairpin on the ground. She realized that the dog might know where the granddaughter was, so they immediately followed the dog. Soon, they arrived at a remote factory. The couple, upon seeing this, thought the dog was just causing trouble, since their daughter was too young to run off to a factory alone. So, they decided to look elsewhere. But the grandmother believed in the dog, and was certain her granddaughter was inside the factory. She told the dog to go home first, while she planned to go into the factory to find her granddaughter. Unexpectedly, the dog followed her into the factory, wanting to help rescue the little girl.